That's what a limiting belief does. It stops you.
Truly believe.
Continue to believe.
Want success? Model the best. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael. This channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you as well. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's learn one of the most common rules that successful people follow. Get rid of your limiting beliefs.
A limiting belief is like putting the governor on the engine of a Ferrari. The Ferrari can go 240 miles an hour. It has 550 horsepower, 4 valves per cylinder, 12 cylinders. But if there's that governor not letting the gas go through, you ain't going over 55.
Yep.
That's what a limiting belief does. It stops you from charging forward when you should and causes you to move back when you shouldn't. And we all have them.
Agreed.
And they started getting inserted in our heads when we're yay big. You know, we were all unstoppable on day one. And then came day two, when our parents started spoon feeding us limiting beliefs. Sometimes, you know, they meant well, they just didn't know, because, you know, one of the things that I'm a big believer in is that we were not even given our owner's manual. Our brain's an immensely powerful computer, and this is, you know, known by pretty much everybody in the self-development world. Some of the top people, Dr. Richard Bandler, who I trained with, one of my mentors and a brilliant guy. And the first thing he said to me is, you know, you never got your owner's manual, Jordan. And because of that, you don't realize that the world around you, that you take it as reality. It's really not. It's subjective. The reality I'm looking at is just subjective. I can interpret things how I want. I can have the beliefs that empower me, and I can shed the beliefs that disempower me. So the first thing I do when I meet somebody, when I coach really wealthy people, some stars in Hollywood, the first thing I do is go through what their limiting beliefs are.
Yep. And
you got to root them out, and it's not difficult. You can't just root them out. You got to replace them with empowering beliefs, which is typically the opposite belief.
You know, what you allow is what's going to continue in your life. I put out a post about this several weeks ago. It's hard to accept this, but what's happening in our lives, we're allowing it to happen. And to some extent, we almost believe we deserve it because we produce in our life what we really believe we're worth, what we really believe we deserve. And it's hard to accept that because it seems coincidental, you know, that the wrong person entered our life, or there was a business setback, or our car broke down, or, you know, our company went out of business, or whatever it might be. One of your clients just quit and changed their mind. And it seems coincidental, but you really truly are getting out of your life what you believe you're worth, what you believe you deserve, and you're allowing it to happen. And I'm going to challenge you today to stop that. Stop allowing it and know that you deserve better.
As you know, I'm a serious introvert and very afraid of people. I got judged so much growing up that this is uncomfortable for me. All these podcasts, you know, that's why I post once a week.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, people are ugly, people are nasty. They make me want to choke the shit out of them. And they're just nasty people. So I stay away from them. But the one thing I realized why I wrote the book is, honestly, I have a story to tell, as we all have a story to tell. And what I realized on my journey was a lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. And along my journey, I started realizing, man, I gotta tell some people about this shit, man. Like, I discovered something that some people have, but they don't even know. All of us have it. But along this way, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a theorist. I became a practitioner. And I was like, my God, I'm busting down so many barriers of, like, I have a learning disability. Okay, but I'm catching up with everybody. I figured that out. I figured out all these negative things in my life that were keeping me in this hole. I'm like, I gotta tell people, man, that, hang on a second, man. You can achieve the absolute impossible.
When I first moved to New York City, I lived in an SRO, like a single room occupancy. It was a place that had no bathroom and no kitchen. It was a shared bathroom. Not a great place to live. And I used to ride my bike almost every day, like from where I worked all the way downtown, all the way uptown, with this huge heavy bag with like all my camera gear in it. And this camera gear was like this burden. It was like this weight. I knew that that burden on my back was going to be what set me free, like what all my dreams could come true if I just believed in this thing.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
The only thing that stops you from getting what you want in life is the bullshit
story you tell yourself.
The minute you begin to get external in your life, worrying about what other people think about you, right? You've lost all control. And it never fills you up.
Everything I didn't want to do is what got me to where I'm at today.
Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Right? Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. One of the biggest reasons why entrepreneurs don't win, because you don't believe in yourself enough. It's why do I have this channel? Why is my one word believe? Look at the back of Nina's sweater. There it is, right? Believe. That's it. It's so important. There's so many, you guys are geniuses. There's so many geniuses, massively talented people out there with amazing ideas that can change the world, but you don't go off and crush it because you don't believe in yourself enough. I think the two biggest problems in the world are, one, recognizing that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, believing that you have something in you, that you're not meant to just wake up and photocopy your life every day working for somebody else, just believing that. And two, then believing in that ability. Believing that you have Michael Jordan level talent as something, and then when you found it, believing in it enough to chase it down every day to get better, because you need to beat on your craft, because it may be something that's totally outside what is normal in your family, because it may be something way outside what is normal for your culture or your society or your community, but you have to go off and do that crazy thing. And it's really hard to believe in yourself enough to chase it down, especially when it's against what everybody around you is saying and what they believe. And so, great, yes, I need to believe in myself, amazing. How do you do it? What's the process? How do you gain self-belief? You need to eliminate the negativity in your life and replace it with belief. So think about, what are the thoughts, who are the people, what are the things around you that keep you where you are, that keep these negative patterns in your head? Is it your parents? Is it your friends? Is it the TV shows you're watching? The media you're consuming? Like, what is it that is toxic, that makes you feel small? And as much as possible, you either cut it out of your life or reduce the exposure. If it's your mom who's always on you and says you can't go be an entrepreneur, maybe you just don't talk about your career with your mom. You put boundaries up. I don't want to talk about this. There's other things that we have in common. You focus on that stuff. You lay out the ground rules. You make them respect you. And you don't talk about the things that you know is going to lead to conflict. And for other people, you may need to just completely cut them out of your life. If it's your best friend from growing up, just because you were friends in grade 4 doesn't mean you should still be friends with adults. A lot of our friendships are out of convenience. You're with people just because it's convenient to be with people. But you've grown apart, and you have to recognize that. If somebody's toxic around you, you shouldn't be with them. And if you are, it's just micro doses. And so you need to cut out a lot of the crap in your life. Anything that's causing negativity or self-doubt needs to be eliminated from your life as much as possible. Great, now you have a vacuum. Now you've got this hole, not as this void inside you. Great, what do? You fill it up with positivity. You fill it up with belief. My channel is a pretty good resource. I got this channel, I got the other channels. We got 3 videos plus a day coming out across my channels that if you want more belief in your life, here's a great resource for you. But forget about me. It's not about me. It's about you. What makes you feel belief? If it's watching videos, great. If it's listening to a podcast, reading a book, doing an act of service, meditating, prayer, whatever the thing is that helps you feel belief, do that every single day. Fill yourself up with it. I inject myself with so much vitamin C belief. I see belief as this injection that I put into myself every day. I have so much of it in me that if somebody sneezes their toxicity on me, I'm not going to get sick because I've done the work, because I'm surrounded with so much belief. That's what you need for your life as well.
Stop walking through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you will always find it. Your self-worth and your belonging is not something that we negotiate externally. It's something we carry in our wild hearts. And if we spend our lives looking everywhere we go for evidence that I don't really belong in this meeting, I'm not really an artist, I just do this on the side and this is my side hustle, but it's not really my job, or we keep comparing ourselves, you will find exactly what you're looking for.
My wife, Jenna, who is not just a supportive partner, but really just the co-creator with me. We dream up these projects together. We build a nonprofit around inspiring young people and kids. There's tons of public schools, hundreds of thousands of public schools kids following along this project at the time. And that's really where our passion lies, around health and wellness. Now we can talk more about that later. But anyways, I call home to Jenna and I say, Jenna, I just summited Everest. We got 1 mountain to go. And she goes, okay, great. Like, how are you feeling? I'm like, well, I'm exhausted. I'm still up at 26,000 feet. It's going to take me a few days to get down and we can regroup for this next mountain. And she goes, yeah. And she says something I'll never forget. She goes, I actually need you to put your boots back on right now. I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, so we've been doing some calculating back home, and it just so happens that if you can get down from Everest today, I've arranged for a helicopter to pick you up in base camp. The helicopter's gonna take you to Kathmandu, but there's no time for you to rest in a hotel. An evening flight's gonna take you to Dubai, to Seattle, to Anchorage, and instead of having 3 weeks to climb Denali, you'll have 3 days. But if you can do all that, you'll set not 1, but 2 world records. You can have the 7 summits record as well. So it's this moment where I just laugh now. I love this quote. You've probably heard it, but it's a Henry Ford quote. He who says he can and he who says he can't are usually both right. One of the ones I've lived by. And this is a moment of like, you know, I know better than to not listen to my wife because she's a badass and she's amazing and knows when to push me. But I'm like, all right, maybe we can pull this off. And sure enough, 100 hours after standing on the summit of Everest, I'm on the other side of the world at the base of Denali, 3 days battling this insane storm, but on May 27th, 2016, make it up to the summit of Denali, and in this case, set not 1 world record, but 2 world records. Wow, man. Finishing this project.
The thing is with the guys like Mike, is as human beings, we're fascinated by who the toughest guys in the world are. We are. I say this all the time. If you think of all sports, right? And people in here are probably football fans, baseball, basketball, whatever it is. And take Jordan, who's probably arguably the most famous player of all times. You know, do people really know Jordan all over the world, in every little country, in every, Wayne Gretzky, the list goes on and on. It's like, right, I'd like anybody, and maybe this will be the first time it'll ever happen. If somebody in here, tell me who the greatest cricket player on earth is. Nobody? Yeah, I didn't think so.
How great would it be if he was here? Yeah. I mean, he just went and killed himself.
I've done that a million times, and not one person's ever said, I know who the greatest cricket player is. But my point is, you walk anywhere in the world, everybody knows Mike Tyson. Everybody knows Muhammad Ali. Bruce Lee died in the early 70s. Does anybody in this room not know who Bruce Lee is? Everybody knows who Bruce Lee is. He died in the 70s.
And it's not like they're promoting him. It's not like anybody's promoting him.
As human beings, we're fascinated by who the toughest guy in the world is. It's always been that way from the days of the Roman gladiators. You know, I always have this thing where I say, I can throw all kinds of stats and bullshit at you about the UFC that's true and all these things, but here's something that I don't know if this is true, but it's what I truly believe, and it's what we built this company on. I believe that before a man threw a ball through a circle, before a man hit a ball with a stick, 2 men were put on this earth, somebody threw a punch, and whoever was standing around ran over and watched. Fighting is the first sport ever, and it will be the last sport ever. It'll be around till the day we die, till the earth no longer exists. Fighting will always be here.
A few months ago, when we were working, I signed a deal for a TV show a few weeks ago, and they were doing research, and we discovered that where I lived in 1972 on 27th and Lexington, when I first went to Wall Street, it's now been torn down. We used to call the building the Bed Bug. Probably some of you live in the Bed Bug now. And then 12 years later, I was living in the castle. 12 years. Yes, was a castle on my affirmations? Yes. Was a castle on my goals? Yes. Was a castle in my prayers? Yes. But I thought the castle was going to have a moat and have all kind of neat stuff. It doesn't have a moat, but it's a pretty neat place for those of you that have looked at it in Google. Because I continue to believe. I continue to believe. So I've gone from the barrio, that's where my house used to be, behind that chain link fence, and you can see between me and that brick wall isn't very much space. We had an 800 square foot house. I think that's 75 square meter house. Even some of you probably live in bigger houses than that. And of course, there I am with my lovely wife on my 75th birthday. I needed a new Rolls Royce like I needed AIDS. So what did my wife give me for my 75th birthday? A Rolls just like the Queen has. So when we drive by, I go, just like she does.
I think whoever you are, you can at least respect that I have an opinion on it and that I believe in something and that I'm going to stand up for what I believe. And so that's something that I'm taking pride in, is that I'm standing up for what I believe in and I'm showing conviction about something. And for me, that's big.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Marco Pure White on how to fight for your beliefs that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. What's the limiting belief that you need to get rid of? Number 2, what can you do daily to help you believe in your worth? And number 3, who can you surround yourself with that will help you believe in yourself? Now, if you promise to take action after watching this video, give me a hashtag believe down in the comments to make it official.
Many people have condemned me for being controversial. I was never controversial. As I've always said, most of my reputation is a product of exaggeration and ignorance. Did I shout? Yes, I did. But I led from the front. I nailed my colours to the mast. I fought for my profession. If you're going to be a rebel, make sure you win. You're going to be a revolutionary, then fight for what you truly believe in. And that's all I ever did. And the boys behind me, they followed me.
If you want to learn how to take massive action, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Initiate the action.
Have an action mentality.
Move into action.